Welcome to this episode of UMBC's Mic'd Up. My name is Denise Cardona from the Office of Professional Programs. We are joined today by Professor Albert Mubako from UMBC's Systems Engineering Graduate Program. We hope you enjoy this episode of UMBC's Mic'd Up. Welcome, Professor Mubako. It's so nice to have you here on the UMBC Mic'd Up podcast. And today we're going to talk about the field of systems engineering and an upcoming course that you're going to be teaching this fall semester. So it's really wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, let's talk a little bit about your journey. So can you tell us a little bit about the path that you took to land here at UMBC?
Okay, it's a very interesting one. I certainly think so. So I am in the field of systems applications products consulting, and when I ventured into doing my PhD in e-business management and strategy, I was my then supervisor was Professor Jeffrey Ray, who is actually an instructor at UMBC. In the systems engineering faculty.
Yes.
That was from 2015 to 2017. He was my supervisor on my PhD thesis. And since then, I've been working with him, and we co-founded the Institute for Digital Business Strategy, which focuses on digital transformation, skills training, and consulting. And since then, we have been working well together, and we co-authored a book with him called The Definitive Guide to Digital Business Strategy. And from there, we have just been evolving and creating courses on digital transformation. He got us involved with the University of Maryland. And then basically, that's how I landed here, I suppose, teaching this course.
Well, that's wonderful. So I interviewed Professor Ray, I would say probably in early to mid 2020. And we talked about this. We talked about the book and the co-partnership. Anybody listening in or tuning in, go ahead and listen to that episode. It's in our podcast episode archives with Dr. Jeffrey Ray. So that's a very interesting path that you took here. And it's wonderful that you took some courses here as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would love to know is, I'd love to talk about the nature of the engineering field. And why do you feel like it's important to the world and to organizations, the world of engineering?
All right. So systems engineering, basically, is technology related. As we see in the world right now, the transformation trends is all based on emerging technologies that are being leveraged by businesses, whether in the private or public sector, for them to be able to run more efficiently and to be able to improve their service delivery and operations. So in looking at that field of systems engineering, it basically plays a role in digital transformation. So the course that I'll be teaching will be around digital transformation and looking at these and investigating these transformative trends that we have that involve, all these emerging technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, Internet of Things, just to name a few of the interesting ones that are driving business. So in that, in engineering innovations that are in there, for example, if we look at applications called liquid applications, those are closely related to engineering because all of the engineering innovations and management of technology through Agile and DevOps, that's closely tied together. That's where the close relationship is, and where I think the importance of systems engineering comes into play. In digital transformation and digital transformation projects and leadership.
Excellent. And I want to talk a little bit about that course you're going to be teaching. But before that, I always like to ask the question of what excites you most about this field of systems engineering and digital transformation?
What excites me most is basically digital transformation. It's not all about the technology. People remain as the most important assets. So we may look at the fancy technology and capabilities that come with it, but at the same time, those technologies are nothing without the innovation and the leadership and the direction of the people who actually use these technologies, to solve real world problems, to solve business problems, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector. And underlying all this, I think is basically innovation. What excites me is, the positive impacts to operations of a business or a government entity or the service delivery, that comes out of taking advantage of digital transformation tools that we have these days.
Yeah, and anytime you're able to make an impact on the world, that's such a positive motivation and such a reason to get up out of bed in the morning and do what you do. And to be able to share that with students in your upcoming course, that must be an amazing feeling.
Absolutely. It's very exciting. And I'm really, really excited to do that.
What are the career opportunities that we see for students and professionals in the next 5 years? Which technologies, according to you, will be relevant, and what do you recommend to learn them?
So definitely intelligent applications, that involves artificial intelligence, augmented reality. As you have seen, for example, Facebook has taken it to one level up to have the metaverse that's got everybody excited. That is now being used as a proper business case or business use case where, augmented reality is actually going to be commercialized, whether in an entertaining or positive way, whichever way you look at it, that it's quite exciting to follow. And then also maybe technologies that have been used already, but have been enhanced, like, for example, in the Internet of Things, where you find that sensors are being used in manufacturing and healthcare, to be able to enhance machinery and reduce malfunctions, increase efficiencies and the like. So with that all comes together, those technologies are offering opportunities for employment or even, let me mention it, opportunities for digital entrepreneurship. So you might find that, you could actually even become a business owner by exploiting these technologies. Not only being just an employed professional, but you can actually innovate with them and actually, become a business owner and employ other people. Those are just the technologies that I see that are like at the forefront of digital transformation and driving business at this point.
And it's interesting to me, you mentioned augmented reality. And the reason why that's interesting to me is because I am studying in a graduate program here at UMBC, the Learning and Performance Technology graduate program. And I run a live stream show about the world of ISD. And one of our future guests on that show is somebody who runs an augmented reality and virtual reality training for people, for various organizations, various fields, to help bring the workforce up to speed through training through augmented reality. And so the implications of a career as somebody who programs these things is vast, and it's right there on the cusp. And it's one of those emerging technologies that is going to be so important to bring in professionals up to speed in so many different ways, and also in the fun entertainment aspect of it all too.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the one use case for that is in the healthcare sector, where the surgeons can actually practice a couple of times, or before they actually go into the real life operating theater. Augmented is going to be very, very important. Is important at this point, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's talk about the upcoming course you're going to be teaching this fall semester. For starters, what are the business benefits and challenges in adoption of digital transformation in Industry 4.0 and 5.0? How do you think COVID has affected these business models?
Definitely, COVID has accelerated the digital transformation of many organizations in the public sector and the private sector. It has improved the reaching out to customers, with the e-meetings and all of that. That's on the basic and necessity level. But over and above that, digital transformation itself, the other benefits to businesses or organizations is running data-driven businesses, So with that, the business can actually know their customers better, know what the customers need. As I mentioned before, that ties back to improving service delivery for customers, and basically as well, that comes back to increasing or improving efficiencies. What we see is that businesses and organizations definitely will benefit from digital transformation because they get closer to their customers and they get connected. The way they operate, it becomes way, way better than how we were operating like maybe 10 or 15 years back.
What can a student expect out of the class you're going to be teaching this fall?
So the name of the course is Digital Transformation. What to expect is that you are going to examine and interrogate digital transformation concepts and the current digital transformation transformative trends around the world and global. We're also going to look at the tools and the practices that is used in digital transformation and basically understand how it is to become a digital transformation leader. So in the course as well, you'll find that the language is geared to talking to the students as if they were business owners or digital entrepreneurs, as I mentioned earlier, talking to them as if they were part of the digital transformation project teams and leading those teams, and also talking to, the language of the course also talks to you as if you are part of this business strategy teams. So basically all of the traits and leadership and capabilities and skills that are required to actually become digital transformation leaders, this is also bundled in this course as well.
Oh, that sounds so interesting. It sounds like that's real world application that you can be in this class one night and then the next day bring everything that you just learned right to your professional life. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of engagement in the class. Can you talk a little bit about what that might look like for students?
All right. In terms of engagement, we will do the whole traditional quizzes. I don't know if anybody can run away from quizzes, but definitely we're going to have use cases that we're going to look at, real world use cases for each of the technologies, and basically case studies also on the successful companies that have successfully executed the digital transformation journeys. And we're going to dissect these, we're going to discuss this, and we're going to actually also come up with our own action plans and how we would, tackle different types of situations that are related to the topics.
That's great. Student discussions and case studies, those are so useful in a learning journey. It helps you to really act it out as though you are part of a team, sitting around a conference table or in a Zoom meeting and trying to figure out the challenges, creating solutions, and imagining what those solutions might do to the end result. That sounds like it's going to be very powerful and useful for students.
It will be very useful.
Mm-hmm. How, in your opinion, how does this class prepare students for success out in the real world? I mean, we talked a little bit about these discussions, these case studies, but what else? What other kind of benefits are students going to gain from this classroom, this class?
Okay. One benefit I'm hoping to give out or to be able to let students have is basically coming out after doing this course with the confidence to be able to engage managerial and executive level with regards to innovative technologies and those capabilities and how they actually translate into business outcomes. Because businesses basically do not invest in technologies because it's pretty cool or nice to have, but they want to invest in these technologies so that they also get, an increase on their bottom line. So if there's any investment in digital projects, which systems engineering professionals will be involved in, you'll be able to communicate the value and also demonstrate the value capture of these technologies, and be able to communicate and engage and deliver, digital transformation projects at such a level.
Absolutely. Yeah. How can a student come into this class and make the most out of it? What does this ideal student have to do to really dig in and learn and grow from this course?
All right. The ideal student should come in with an open mind, willing to think outside the box, willing to throw in innovative ideas in discussions, willing to actually learn how to apply some of these or what they're going to learn in the exercises, in the discussions, in the case studies, and also be able to come out with actionable plans for them to be able to apply in their professional lives when they do graduate. And who knows, we might be talking to the next Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, because we want to have people who are willing to be able to then come out and also become entrepreneurs and apply the knowledge and what they've learned as well.
Yeah, as a professor, I would imagine that's the most exciting thing is when you sit there and you are engaging with your students and you think, gosh, somebody in this class could be the next pioneer in the next emerging technology. That must be pretty cool because the possibilities, the potential, it's there.
It's there, definitely.
It's there, yes. Is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you feel would lend value to this conversation?
As I mentioned earlier, people remain as the greatest assets, not the technology. So coming out of this course, you should be armed to be able to exploit the technologies and be able to use them, to make an impact in society and have a positive impact and greater impact wherever you go. So I think that's just the last note I can add to that.
Absolutely. This has been a great conversation. I'm really grateful that you took the time to be here with us today and to help inform and educate those who are listening a little bit more about the world of systems engineering and how important it is to the world at large. The fact that you can make impacts with engineering, and it's critical to the success of the human race overall. And so there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon. And I'm really happy for you to be starting your journey as a professor here at UMBC, helping to bring the next generation of engineers into the world. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of UMBC's Mic'd Up. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you'd like to learn more about UMBC's professional engineering suite of courses, please click on the link in the show notes.